Hello viewers, I'm Simon Preston and this is Reggae Boys Commentary, the Google Hangouts version again, and in this edition of Reggae Boys Commentary, I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you all have been sending in over the past couple of weeks or so, especially some of the questions that you all raised during the first edition of Caribbean Football Weekly yesterday. I'm going to get through this. I really admire all of you as subscribers and as viewers, and I want to answer the questions that you guys have, because when you have doubt, you need to find the answer, and that is exactly what I'd like to provide to you all, information so that you all are understanding where these players are, what is happening, and also my personal views on the matter on the international landscape as well, especially for Jamaica's sake. So let's get right into the questions, shall we? Now, one question that was sent in was by Jovain Clark, and he asked, so Jamaica have to win 2 World Cup qualifying games. So in a nutshell, he's asking about the 2 World Cup qualifiers that we have coming up against Panama and Haiti. And to answer his question, not necessarily. We can win 1 game and draw 1 and still advance to the next round. But if we want to advance without any hiccups and saying, okay, Costa Rica has to beat Panama for us and this team has to do that for us, then we need to win the 2 games. It's as simple as that. Beat Panama, beat Haiti, we go into the final round. That's what we need to do. Although we know it's going to be difficult because we've never beaten Panama on Panamanian soils, and we know how difficult it is on Central American soil. We've only beaten the likes of Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Guatemala on Central American soil. All the other teams, Costa Rica, we've never beaten on Central American soil. Honduras, we haven't beaten them on Central American soil either. So it's going to be very, very tough. So just going to have to hope and see what will happen from there on in. But we have to win the 2 matches. That is for sure. Another question that was sent in was by. Let me just bring up some of the comments that were raised there. Are asking me what was happening to Luton Shelton. Well, Luton Shelton has retired. He had some injury problems in Russia and he has retired. He's going to have to break that because that 35 goals won't be extended by Luton Shelton. So can it be Darren Mattox? Can it be Michael Seaton? Can it be Clayton Donaldson? Who knows who it could be? 35 goals. It's going to take some time because Mattox is on 12, so he's only like a third completed. So it's going to take some time to see how things will progress where that is concerned. A question was sent in by Jeremy Grizzle. What are your thoughts on the Phoenix Football Academy, which developed Bailey and his brother Kyle? Okay, thank you, Jeremy, for that question. So basically, the Phoenix Football Academy is, the owner and founder is Craig Butler, and 2 of his most outstanding projects from that were Kyle and Leon Bailey Butler. If you look at what Leon Bailey has been doing, especially in Belgium recently, it's just remarkable. But since making his debut for Genk in 2015, it's been truly phenomenal. When he made his debut in August of 2015 against Sint-Truiden, and he only got to play 28 minutes that match. Well, I mean, it's been wonderful being the Young Professional Football of the Year in Belgium. It's quite remarkable because if you look at the list of those players that won that Young Player of the Year award and where they are today, there are some outstanding professionals. I'm talking about the likes of Axel Witsel, Vincent Kompany. Some wonderful players are on this list as well of professionals. Yori Tillemans, another Belgian player. Some outstanding players on this list. So these players are very important. Mark Wilmots as well is also part of this list. So he is in good company. And I think he's going to blossom into an outstanding football player. And we've seen, and a Belgium league, in my opinion, is a good league for developmental purposes. And this is wonderful for him. I just hope that whatever differences or doubts that Craig Butler may have with the JFF or whatever organization in Jamaica that can be resolved, because seeing Leon Bailey Butler in the yellow of Jamaica, in the gold shirts, black shorts, and gold socks will bring a smile to us. Craig Butler has told the media on numerous occasions of what he has envisioned about Jamaican football, picturing Jamaica in a World Cup semi-final one day, picturing Jamaica in a World Cup final, not just getting there, but getting into the last two of those 32 teams in the World Cup. I've had those dreams too. And to be honest, it's not a pipeline dream. If we can organize our affairs in a better way, not malice each other, then we won't have anything to worry about. It's very unfortunate how sometimes things plan out, but you know, we're just gonna have to move forward and hope for the best where it is concerned. So, Leon Bailey, I would love to see him in Jamaican colours. He's represented on the 23 team before against Cayman Islands last year. He scored a wonderful free kick. Although I'm sure Belgium under 21 will be looking to record his services, I would just love to see him in a Jamaica shirt. But can he make the Belgium team? In a few years' time, yes, he can make the Belgium senior team. Another question was sent in from Coolio Two Foots, and he asked two questions. If you watch the Red Stripe Premier League, who do you think deserves some attention and have the potential to get into the national team or move to overseas? Okay, very good question there. Thank you very much for that. So, the players that I've been impressed with are some that have been on the fringes of the national team. Damana Solomon, Michael Binns, Ricardo Morris. Those are three players who I think have the ability to play overseas. Michael Binns, I believe, is on trial in Europe as well, alongside Michael Seaton as well, and he's doing quite well where that is concerned. And he's a player that I'd like to see impress even more. Michael Binns, he really gave us a bit of oomph in the second half of games in the Copa America tournament, and I believe that he can do very well. Andrew Vanzi, he can play overseas as well. I believe he has the ability to, and he's ready for that sort of challenge. Those four players. I'm thinking of any other ones. Yes, Rosario Harriet, quite humble gentleman. I like the way that he approaches training session. Not an arrogant or haughty sort of figure. And he's very determined in what he has to do. So Rosario Harriet to me would be added to the list for sure, definitely. And also, he sent in another question. Should MLS be viewed as a stepping stone because Europe brings the best out of our players? Yes, MLS can be a stepping stone, but leagues in England don't really go and snatch MLS players like the Championship, League One, Premier League. They don't go out and snatch MLS players unless you're the cream of the top, like Ryan Nelson was back in the day. Dane Richards was signed by Burnley during his time in the MLS, but he only played one game, and the manager says, "Oh, there's the door." Well, there's the door. And then that was that. I would just prefer the players be already in Europe, settled in. I think the Championship is just such a good league to develop, especially for young defenders as well. Because you know when you get promoted from the Championship to the Premier League, you worked for it. You worked hard for it. Playing every Tuesday and every Saturday is not easy. And you can say in terms of the magnitude of those performances, it is more difficult than the Premier League. What the Premier League has the edge over the Championship is obviously the speed and the technical ability of the players in it. But the Championship is a very, very demanding league. One lapse in concentration and the ball is in the back of your net. This is something that Adrian Marek has told me on numerous occasions, as he's been promoted with Watford in the past, Joby McAnuff promoted Reading in the past, Ricardo Fuller, who promoted Stoke City in the past. They have said how difficult that league is, and that is why some teams you see just meandering around mid-table and stuff like that. So yes, the MLS is a good league, but I think the MLS is for certain players. There are certain players that would fit that certain style and can develop better. You look at a Javon Watson, and I think that league is made for him. Allows him to be versatile and allows him to press on with those sort of performances as well. So I think it's a chance for him to really cement his authority. And in his mid-30s now, and I think he has a few more years. Jason Johnson, who joined the league a few years back, I think he's a league below now in the North American Soccer League, but I think he's definitely one to keep a very, very close eye on in the future. Omar Cummins, I think the MLS fits him quite well as well. And another question from Jamie Pablo. Should football officials, open bracket, running for higher office in FIFA, who fail the ethics test, be permitted to return to leadership role in their respective national regional federations? Thank you for that, Jamie. My simple answer to that is no. No. And before I answer that question as well, to our viewers currently watching in, don't forget to leave your comments as well. Is there any question that you want to ask as well? Put them in and let's see what can happen. Don't forget to share your thoughts as well. If any questions you may have, don't forget to leave them in below as well on this matter. If you want anything to ask in relation to this, and go right away. All right, so here we go. No, because you've committed a crime, you've done something wrong. Why should you be given another opportunity? I don't understand. Ethics is something huge in football. Look what happened with Jeffrey Webb. They found in possession of him a dozen Rolex watches and a Ferrari. What are you going to do with a Ferrari in the Cayman Islands? From his house to like the supermarket is an entire island. I'm sorry, that was a bit harsh. But at the same time, there's not really much roads for him to use it. I mean, you think about the wealth and all of that. It could have been done in a better way. What I do admire him for doing, though, is the Bahamas getting for the Bahamas to host the FIFA Soccer Beach World Cup in 2017. I think that's a massive coup for the Caribbean, and I do hope that will be able to spur something in the region as well. So there is one more question that I'm going to take for today, and the question comes from Matthew Bent. What clubs are Damano Solomon and Michael Binns and Michael Seaton going to? All right, that's a very good question, Matthew. To be honest with you, I am not sure of the exact clubs for Seaton and Binns, but what I do know about Solomon is that it's in the Swedish top tier, which would be the likes of Malmo and Cyrenaica, etc. So those are some clubs that you'll be on. So it's a few where that is concerned. I do think that the championship would be better for Damano Solomon, but I think the Swede would be a stepping stone because he's a young defender. He's 21 years of age. He'll be 22, I think, in October. So I think it's a good stepping stone for him. And by the time he reaches 25, I think he'll be perfectly ready for the Premier League. Some may say, though, that you don't really find short defenders as centre-halves in the Premier League because Adrian Mariappa is the shortest defender in the Premier League at 5 feet 11 inches tall. And Damano Solomon is just a shade taller at 6 foot. You really find central defenders in the Premier League being 6'2", etc. So it's very tough to say where that is concerned. But I mean, men stop growing at 22, 23. I mean, some men differ. I stopped growing when I was 15, 16, but you still have some men that grow at 22, 23, like Ryan Shawcross. He was 6'3" at 21 years old, but then the next season he was 6'5". So, I mean, men can grow later. So we'll just have to wait and see where that is concerned. Is there any other questions? Viewers, I kindly ask you to give me 1 second as I get my charger for the laptop, as it is dying down a little bit. So please Give me 1 second, please. All right. My apologies for that. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions available. 21, I hope I answered that, Matthew. Thank you very much for your question. Really, really appreciated that one. Okay, there's another question coming from the Guyana Jaguars football official group from their football federation. The question that they have is, Iceland's model. Iceland's rise in the FIFA charts from 130 to 33 can be attributed largely to funding, facilities, leadership, coaching, youth development, passion, and a bold, realistic game plan. With the discovery of oil in likes of Guyana and obviously bauxite in Jamaica, can we really say that funding is going to be an issue? Because you look at an island like Iceland that has 800,000 people, Guyana has a similar population. Should funding really be an issue? That is a excellent question. And I think that funding in football should never be an issue regardless of the association. Or you look at FIFA has done so much different programs that they've developed and stuff like that. So why these issues around football is not just a game. It's like a passion, and it should never be a situation where you're depending on this person. You're fair. Then should never be a source of like your hard, your rewards. And sometimes it's very sure that administration there's a nature of the administration people know for reason because sometimes it's going to be and some person is wrong or some person is eating or person guys let me know in the comments below. And in addition to that, using more courses as well as share as well with your family and friends or was coming as well so we can go subscribe. And all that just really pushing those more by the end of the Olympics and stuff like that. So really appreciate your support and continue to be subscribed to Reggae Boys Commentary. Much appreciated, everyone. Thank you. Take care.